Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and it's cold and wet outside, so it's a perfect day for getting together and doing a little bit of doodling, hanging out, and having a look at the week ahead. You know, we're going to reframe that head of ours, and if you did get up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, that's okay too, because it's never too late to reset the day. There you go. So you've had a bit of a moment this morning. Don't worry, we can start again. Just start your day over. Just because something went wrong this morning, doesn't mean you've got to wreck the whole day, does it? No. So come on in. Why do I always realise my glasses are absolutely filthy? That's better. I can see you now. Yeah, welcome. Good morning, Lynn. Nice to have your company. And it's the 1st of December. I mean to say, what is going on, friends? I know, I reckon that they've put new batteries in the clocks and they're on hyperdrive at the moment. Come on in. Good morning, Ken. Good to have your company. Good morning from Slovenia. Well, hello. Ivaka. Is that how we say it? Ivaka. Good morning. Nice to have your company. A very grey Chester. Yeah, it's very grey in Edenbridge as well, I can tell you. It was tipping down on the way in. Yeah. I mean, this is that time of year, isn't it, when you get up and it's dark and you go to bed and it's dark. And excuse me, you go to work and it's dark, you come home and it's dark. So it's okay, though. It's okay. We've got a lot to be grateful for. A lot to be grateful for. Do you know, on Saturday night, Dave and I, we went to the observatory at Hurstmonceau. I don't know if you've heard of it. Interesting place. And it was in the news a few months ago because they were going to shut it down. But then the locals and the astronomers all rallied and they managed to extend the lease by another 10 years. Good morning, Sam. Yeah, so we went there, stargazing. I know. And what a fantastic place. Do you know that it was constructed, it's right next to the castle, Hurstmonceau Castle, which is beautiful. We've been there a few times. I'm just letting our friends come in while I tell you this. We've been to the castle a few times to different events, but we'd never been to the observatory, because you always think of Greenwich. Who thinks of Hurstmonceau? Don't even know how to pronounce it. So so Dave said, let's go there for Saturday night. It beats TV, hands down, definitely. So we got tickets and off we went, stargazing. So there are these domes. There must be 5 or 6 of these domes. And they've got these really amazing telescopes, really old, like Victorian. But they are still some of the most powerful, effective telescopes in the world. Anyhow, so apparently they used to be at Greenwich before the war. And then during the Blitz, they got relocated because they wanted to protect them. And they were really important for navigation as well at Greenwich. So anyway, we moved them and they moved to Hurstmonceau. And that's where we went on Saturday night. And I learned so much. We know nothing. Do you know that? One thing that I took away with me was just how tiny the Earth is as a planet. We're so small. And the guys they're all volunteers that explain things to you and set up the telescope so we could see Saturn, which was quite something. So here's something about Saturn. You know, Saturn's got the rings around it, yeah? I mean, don't quote me on this. I didn't make notes. It was freezing cold as well. But for example, the rings that are around Saturn, they're about, let's say, I can remember thinking 167,000 miles. 167,000 miles, right, is the distance of the the rings around Saturn, 167,000 miles. For some reason, that's sticking in my mind, right? But the thing is that as Saturn moves, it kind of undulates. So it's always doing this. So like when we were looking at Saturn yesterday or Saturday through the telescope, all you could see was the planet, and then you could see a line, like literally just a line either side, no rings, you could just see the line. And that's because at this point in its undulation, that's all we can see. That's the angle from our axis. That's what we see, right? And then in the next couple of years, it will move, and then suddenly you see all the rings, and it looks much bigger. And here's the mind bender, right? The actual depth of the rings, if you like, the light that goes, these rings that go around Saturn, because you would think that they were like really, really like hundreds of miles that way, because you know it's 167,000 miles that way. So, but in actual fact, it's like meters. It's like 15 meters or something crazy, or 10 meters. It's really a very, very fine line. And you can only see it because of the light reflection and also when it tips. So it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Yeah. And it's right, Lynn, the more you know, the more you realise you don't know. But I have an open mind, and it was lovely. It was lovely to see so many people out. It wasn't crowded, you know, but lots of people with children, inquiring minds. Lots of inquiring minds, and lots of knowledgeable people happy to share. It was so cool, you know. And there was a guy standing, yeah, because he was standing outside all night, poor bloke, but he had a heated jacket on and heated trousers. He was a bit like Mr. Gadget. It was smashing bloke. And he had this laser torch, and he could point at this is so-and-so, this is, and he was showing us all the different constellations. This was while we were waiting to get into a dome. So the reason that you had to wait to get into the dome was because the ground in the dome goes up. Yeah. So you'd say 20 people could go in this huge cylinder, like silo dome, and then the door's locked, and then you have to wait outside, which is why the guy with the laser, Mr. Gadget, was keeping us entertained, because then the floor goes up, and then it's just amazing. And then the aperture in the dome opens, and and then they do have computers now to tee up exactly two gents. One set stands in front of the screen and says left a bit, right. It was a bit like burning the bolt. It was fascinating. Honestly, if you ever can, maybe you've been, but if you get a chance to go to Herstmonceux, because interestingly, obviously the telescopes never went back to Greenwich. So we always think of Greenwich, don't we? The observatory there. It's the little one in East Sussex. Really amazing. Yeah. And the sky was really bright, because the daytime, the weather had been really bad, and we were looking, thinking, oh, it's a little bit cloudy, a bit overcast. What are you going to see on a night like that? But actually, it was amazing. You know, it was really clear. It cleared up beautifully, and it was funny because Mr. Gadget, he had a real good sense of humour as well, and he was saying the moon is the only fly in the ointment tonight, which I thought was comical, because I thought we were there to see the moon. And he said, no, we think of the moon as it's what did he call it? It was like, it was a nuisance. As far as the astronomers were concerned, the moon is a real nuisance, because when it's bright, then the stars aren't as bright, or the planets, you can't see the planets as much, because the moon is reflecting too much light. So yeah, it was fabulous. And everywhere you went was red light. So there were no white lights, it was all red light, so that your eyes could become accustomed to the black sky. Yeah, it was great. Really quite something. And it really right sizes you. You know, when you're in a place like that and you're looking at these, he was explaining there was Orion, I don't know, say Orion. There was a star that was so far away that the light that it was emitting set off like 140 million years ago or something mental. And you think, that was before we even existed as a species. And he went, oh yeah, way, way, way before humans evolved or humans came about. No, no, no. The light that you see up there, that left the station millions of years before we came along. And it's difficult to get your head around that, you know. When you're looking at stars, the brightness of their light traveling towards you was millions of years ago. It started out. How's that? And we're just stardust, which reminded me of a song. I love it. I love it. And I wish I knew more about it, but there's always time, isn't there? You know. And what was lovely about these guys is that they made it understandable for a layperson. You know, they weren't so super technical and super jargony that you couldn't grasp what they were saying, you know. And they were talking about gases, and but it was understandable. I could understand it. And there was another thing that one of the guys, he was genuinely excited because he said, we are so lucky. The chances of us being on a planet with gravity and all the right combinations of gases to be able to survive. You know, we take breathing for granted. Most of the planets that you can't are not habitable, you know. And he said, we're so lucky to be here. And he was really grateful but he obviously has the knowledge of the rest of it. And he says, you have no idea the chances of humans existing is pretty much zero in the bigger picture, you know. He said it's quite something. So it was great to have with something so complex and so overwhelming, right? It was great to have guys or people. It was all men, actually. It was all blokes. But it was great to have people that could explain it without any arrogance. There was no arrogance, or there was no, they weren't patronizing. They were really just excited that we were there and they could share their knowledge with us, you know, in a really understandable way. So if you get a chance to go, and the tickets are only about, I think we paid about 12 quid each. All right. Not bad at all. And it's called Hurstmansur. Let me write it for you so you know where to, because it's not as you would think it. That's why I don't know how to say it. I think this is right. Hurstmansur. There you go. That's how it's Hurstmansur. And there's a castle next to it, which is really pretty. But what you're looking for is the Science Museum and the observatory. Yeah. Very, very, very good place to visit. Yeah, I know. So that's what we did on Saturday. And now we've got loads of friends. They found us. Good. So how are you? Did you have a good weekend? I worked hard. I did do that. Ticked a load of boxes. And today's the first day of December. What is going on? Eh? So 1st of December, that means I've already blogged about this. One, it's the start of the BIP hunt. It's Bip the Bear this year. So on our website, we have a treasure hunt, don't we, every year? So I've set that up. That's all in place. And the first of the verses, I think Stuart sends out an email every day at 8 o'clock. So you should have already received your email. If you didn't receive an email, it's because you're not signed up. And if you're not signed up, then go to the website, because it's easiest if you, I mean, you can go to the website every morning and you can look on the banner, and I'm sure that they will post our team will post the verse or the riddle or the clue on the banner. But isn't it easier if we just send it to you? Yeah. So if you go to the website, if you haven't signed up for our emails, go to claritycrafts.com or claritystamp.com. All roads head to the same place. And then on the front page, scroll right down, and you'll see right at the bottom. I put it in my blog as well. You'll see at the bottom, subscribe to our emails, and then you just put your email in, and then just follow the instructions. We won't bombard you. We won't give your information to anybody else. You should know us better than that. But it's a great way of getting information. So you'll find out when we're on telly, for example, when we're on Hobby Maker. We'll let you know that. What's coming up. We always tell you the day before what's coming up. And for the month of December, what would be really useful is if we were able to send you the daily clues for the Bip Hunt. Okay? I know, we're all over it. Yes. And today is also the last day of the Grey Friday sale. So we've had a little short, we've stuck to the rules. We've started on Black Friday, and we're ending on Cyber Monday. So rather than stretch it out over a month, right, which seems to be the way a lot of people roll these days, we've decided to just keep it short and sweet, especially because we just had a massive autumn sale, didn't we? Now, Paul is in the building. He's going to keep you company. He's still not feeling very well, so I think he's going to go home after the SHAC, and I shall be keeping you company at 2:00 with a sale show. We've got some new Bip the Bear stamps and a groovy plate, lovely. Jazz and I. Jazz did it really. And then, and just a couple of other things. I've got a couple of demos, quite cool, that I'd like to show you at 2:00. So that's what's coming up today. And I hope that Paul feels better soon. Now, I think it's time to get started. Should we get some doodling going? Do you remember last week we made some, I've had a really good hour before you all rocked up. I really did. I'm not saying it's changed now you're here, but I really had a great hour because I forgot my my SHAC box. See, I have a box. So I forgot that at home, so I had to improvise. But I did have, fortunately, I had this here because Jazz designed the masks, the triangle masks. So fortunately, she had that in her cupboard, which was a bit of luck. And she also had that in her cupboard, which was another bit of luck. So all was not lost. Now, last week, what we were doing, we were making Christmas. We were making Christmas trees, and we cut out triangles and then we masked them. And then halfway through, I decided that it'd be a good idea if we made these. And I'm telling you now, if you haven't got these in your basket, these are a game changer, because I tested them. And then this morning, because I didn't have any, I made a little card. Took 5 minutes. Going to do it with you. Check it out. It's so pretty. I mean, we'll stick to the traditional way, and we'll have a, but I want to show you. Check this out. I know, love, love, love. And that was made using these. So I just use, you can see which ones I used. So in here, you've got 3 sets of triangles. There you go. That's that one. That's that one. You see, and then that one there is that one there. So you get 3 sets of triangles. And what's cool about them is that you've got the innie and the outie. Okay. So you've got the bit, and you've got the inside and the outside. And then you've also got, see, for the bottom ledge, you've got the hill as well. So if you were thinking about making Christmas cards. Let's come in a bit closer. Then this is a really nice little 4x4, look, easy street, 4x4, these, makeup sponge, couple of ink pads, done. Oh, and I love this font. I'm going to have a meeting with Jazz after this session. See that font that's on the new Barb's Big Bloom sets? I just love the font. So we're gonna have a powwow after. I'd really like to put together a whole sheet using these fonts. My problem is not problem. Let's define problem. The issue is that I might end up repeating some of the ones that are all over the blooms. Personally, that doesn't matter because I'm always looking for stamps. But because you want Happy Christmas and you want Merry Christmas, but it's all, you know, you don't want to have to buy, if you haven't got Barb's Blooms, you don't want to have to buy 60 quid's worth of flower stamps just to get Happy Christmas, do you? So I may just bite the bullet and go double up on it, double up, because the size is perfect as well. The size is perfect. Anyway, meeting with Jazz after this to discuss. Now let's have a look. So I just love this font. Okay, so that's what I used to do this job, and this is the one obviously that's in the box. Oh, for this afternoon. Won't show you. I won't show you because then there are absolutely no surprises this afternoon. But I've got a really nice demo lined up with another tree idea. Anyhow, let's get going. Let's have a look. Let's get, because today's the doodling day. Did you do your homework, friends? I saw a couple of people saying, new alphabet, Barb. Good idea, Ken. Yeah, but I like having the words ready to go because otherwise it's a little bit tiny, a little bit fiddly, you know? Yeah, we've got to do something clever. It's all right. Anyhow, I'm going to show you, we'll do some doodles in the big one, this one. I did skate ahead and do a few just to get some ideas going, right? So we've got, some of them have got the actual skeleton of the branch in. Some of them have got a little bit of that. Some of them a little bit of that. I like that one. You know, you've got to have your favourites. Jury's out on that one. Not sure. Maybe not the tallest one. Not sure about that. I like the rings. I like the snow on the back. And then I like this one with the baubles as well. So we've got loads of different ideas. This is more like a tester, you know. I do too, Joe. Joe's just said, I must say, I prefer sentiments to alphabet. Having said that, though, some of our alphabet sets, the big, like, I really like the word chain ones, the funky ones. And I like the block print. I like them as well. Yeah. Maybe we could have a little session on how to use them. Gold star for you, Lynn. Nice. Okay, so let's have a look. What do we need? We'll do that in a minute. I think I'm going to actually, we'll make that. If we get time, we'll do that. Let's have a look at a couple of different, options, what we can do on our artwork. Have you got this much going? Yeah? All right, let's have a look. And then we'll do that. And if we've got time, I'll just do a little triangle with the mask demo. You'll be blown away how quick it is compared to this job. But you see, the thing is, it's like you have to go through this process to appreciate the other process, isn't it? Sometimes you have to go the long way round to figure out the shortcut. Okay? Now, let's have a go then. So, are you ready? Because I think we could start. And what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use loads of, I've got a couple of Posca pens, red Posca pen, delightful. I'm going to show you a trick with the red Posca pen this afternoon. It's cool. It's very cool. I figured it out. You probably already all know this, but I'm going to tell you about it at 2 o'clock. This is me luring you back at 2. Anyway, so we've got a red Posca pen and a white one, which I thought was very Christmassy. Then we've got micron pens. I've got a thin one and a fat one, 05 and 01. And then I've got all my pencils. I've got my polychromos, winter, spring, summer. Let me get them in the right order. Autumn, winter, spring, summer, and the essentials, the greys. So I was going to use that. There you go. That's it, really. I've got a pencil sharpener. It's a good thing to have. I mean, we don't use a lot, but let's give it a go, shall we? Let's have a look. You ready? And relax. It's been a bit of a busy weekend. Self-inflicted. It's the workaholic in me. I keep thinking, the more boxes I can tick, the easier Monday will be. Joke. What happens is, the more boxes you tick, the more space you leave for more things to do. But it'll be okay. If you're in the club, if you're in the Clarity Club, I apologise that it's a little bit late this month. So it should be going out this week. I reckon that we'll get it out by the end of the week, but it should be ready to go now, and it's not. So I apologise for that. There's a lot involved with, I've done as much as I can, and now I have to hand it over. So now I have to wait. And it's the process. So I apologise for the delay on the envelopes coming out, but they will get there hopefully by the end of this week. We're definitely sending them out by the end of this week, but we don't want to get caught up in the Christmas traffic. And then I said to the team, what we've got to do is get the January one teed up, ready to go out on the first week of January when we get back, you know. Be all right. It'll all be all right. Rest assured, we're on it. Good. Now let's have a look. So this is the blank one that we did with our cutouts, just to recap, remember? Like that. And that's the thing, you don't have to use the whole cutout, you just put a bit of masking tape across there. And then we used the inside bits to cover up, didn't we? And that's why these are dynamite, because you've got the inside bits and the outside bits. Trust me, these are great. Proof of concept, worked it out, works a treat. Now, then the other thing is, let's have a look. It's whether or not you use the black or a pencil. It's up to you. So I use that black in a couple of them and then pencil in a couple of others. So the black pops. And if you're using, like all I did on this one, the only black was the baubles in that, just to tie it into the words. Yeah. So, and the other thing is, if you were to use a pencil, you could rub it out. If you're going to use a black ink, ink's ink, ink's down, ink's done, right? So if you're working on your masterpiece, then you may want to go with pencil first, and you can always ink it up afterwards, can't you? So if you wanted to, you could go in with a pencil, like a HB pencil, couldn't you? Or you could just throw caution to the wind and call this the test. This is the one where you figure out which patterns you like best and how you want to do it. And just enjoy the session and don't worry about the performance, okay? Just have some fun. Okay, good. Now let's have a look. So I think I'm going to go for a grey pencil. I'm going to go for a Payne's grey pencil. Let's have a look. Keep it soft. And I'm going to use the pencil so that we can see a comparison. I've definitely, yeah, let's see. I'm gonna use a pencil instead of a pen. Yeah, and then we can see. So that way you can see before you even do it whether you want to go with me. Now, next thing is, do you want to use a ruler, or do you want to use a ruler, or do you want to use freehand to do the spine? I know, tricky, isn't it? Well, I'm going to use a ruler. That's how tricky that is. Because I just want to make sure there, see, it's softer. And let's do one at a time. Okay, let's have a look. So this is the tree in front. So this is the one behind. So we're going to go, right. Let's just do a couple of branches. We can always add them, can't we? Yeah, nice. Okay, let's have a look. So we're just going to use the tip. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah. So we're just going to add some branches. Simple, isn't it? This is one kind of tree that we could do. And I will say this as well. It doesn't look finished. It's not over till it's over. Until you add the snow, until you add the white and the red, it's not exciting. Okay, just saying. But that's okay. Let's just add the branches and the twigs. Okay, that'll do. You can add a couple of little ones in there if you feel you want to. Just remember, leave a gap for the snow. There you are. Okay, that's that. That's that one. That wasn't too hard. Right, now this one, I could go for, I'm going to pop that one back in my thing. Now that one's a light green. So I wonder if I go for, in the winter set, let's have a bit of scrap. Let me find a bit of scrap. So that one is a nice pine green, and this one is a nice earth green. So those two fit really nicely on there. Excellent. Make sure it's thin line. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go with this kind of, rather than straight lines, I'm going to look as if it's wrapping around like this. Okay? So, but you could do what you like. You might have other ideas. Let's just do this. There you go. That'll do. Just a start, isn't it? God, I wish I had my other glasses. I don't know about you, but my eyesight is getting worse. Just stay there a minute while I look for. I know I put them in my basket this morning. My Dame Edna's. I know I. Yay! At least I didn't forget them. That will help. That's better. I know. God, what a difference. I can actually see the trees now. I couldn't see the wood for the trees. Right, okay. That's much better. Okay, so now I can actually see where the trees end. Good, good. So that's not bad. I'm not going to worry about this bit. I'm not worrying about that bit until I've put the land in, okay? So that's that one. And then what we could do is add a bit of shade underneath. Let's just add a bit of shade underneath each dark. Let's give it a bit of, there you go. Keep it simple, I say. Don't make it too busy, eh? Less is more and all that. Oh, a bit of hair there that's stuck on the... Just a minute. Anyway, how are you doing? You okay? Getting ready for Christmas? Did you put your tree up? Did you already? No way you didn't, did you? Did you? Yeah, we don't bother with the tree anymore because of the cats. Let me take that dark grey. Just bring that dark grey in there, just to define that edge a bit. Tell you what, these pencils are dynamite. Yeah, no, we don't bother with the tree anymore because of the cat. So what I did yesterday, I put the pine branches up in the living room. I haven't decorated it yet though. It's a start. Right. I like this one. This is the one I like. You know when you do one, you think, yeah, I like that one a lot. So that one, I'm going to go with the dark grey because it's quite a dark tree. So I think I'll go dark grey and I might sharpen it a bit. I want to see what the difference is if I use a micron pen. What do you think? I should be using the micron pen. Hold up. Right, dark grey. Straight down the middle. Quite graphic because it's all straight lines. So usually I'd say, oh no, the purist in me would say do it by hand, but actually because it's all quite angular and geometric, I thought it would be quite nice to. And what I'm doing here is leaving a bit of space so that I can put the baubles on. See? Can you see this all right? Shall I come in a bit closer? Let's have a look. There, so now you can see what I'm trying to do and you can see what I've done. Is that fuzzy or have I lost it? Okay. Let's try again. Is that fuzzy or am I dreaming? Paul, tell me, is it fuzzy or am I dreaming? It feels fuzzy to me. Oh, I'm going to pan out a bit. Something seems to be out of focus here. And I can't... I don't know whether it's my eyes or what's going on here. Fuzzy, yeah. Is that fuzzy now or is that sharper? Is that better? I'm going to leave it out. Leave it out. That's it. Nice. This will be a nice one to do in a minute. So I'm just making sure that we've got, we can always add the berries afterwards. Okay. Now let's see if I can come in and see if it goes fuzzy again. Now it seems to be better, does it? Good, I think so. Then this one, I'm going to do stripes. So what one's this? I'm going to go with a blue. So I'll just look for a decent blue. This is quite a nice blue. In the, no, it's not working, this third camera. I'll get it sorted by this afternoon, but the third camera doesn't seem to be, the up close one doesn't seem to be working very well, does it? So we'll get that adjusted by this afternoon, but I'm not going to keep doing it. It's irritating me, so it's irritating me, it's irritating you. Right, now, let's look at this one now. And I'm going to make stripes on this one. I think this is a good one. Tight at the top, and then as they come down. Have you got other ideas for decorating the trees? So I think this is quite nice, this one. So lots of different possibilities, eh? Yeah. That's it. And then what I'll do is I'll just do a little bit of shadow underneath each one. So just a little bit of shadow. I mean, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, we're doing about 7 or 8 trees here, but this is a kind of an experiment, so you can see all the different options that you've got when you colour them in. And then when you go to make the cards like this, oh, Mini Makes Monday, right? Then you can say, right, I'm going to use that one on there, and I'm going to use that one on there, and I'm going to use that one on there. You see? So that way you've got like your template and you know how they sit next to each other. That was my thinking anyway. I mean, what do I know? I'm the bus driver and I'm not that far ahead of you on this trip. So let's have a look. That's quite nice. And then we can get a little bit more shadow on that side. Yeah, that's quite a nice one. And because I'm working on the top of, we used these ink pads, didn't we? Distress oxides to do the undercoat, and the polychromos, they sit on there really nicely. Now I wonder if I haven't got one. I've got everything. Let me just grab a blending pen. Let's see. That's irritating me. Let me just find a blending pen, because I'm sure I've got one here for this afternoon. There it is. Let's see if you use a blending nib, whether you can soften that edge a bit. You know, we're always talking about getting out of yeah, look, that's it. Getting out of your head and getting with your hands, and what a difference it makes. I can't. This kind of simple art like this is absolutely brilliant for the mind. There you go. Didn't that? See how it just spreads it out nicely? Yeah, works really well. Just smooths out nicely. I don't know if you can see that, but it smooths out really nicely. Let's see if we can. There we go. And I'm going to add a little, I'm not even changing the nib. I'm going to use the blue nib. Excellent. Just softens it up nicely, see? Yeah, cool. Cool, cool. And then the one at the back, so the one at the back, now that one, I put the red on, so I might leave that one. But it's a bit of balance. So I've got trees, tree trunk, so I think, right, tree trunk at the end here. That was my thinking behind it. So I'm going to go again, but this time I wonder what will happen if I use a different colour. So this one here, this is in autumn, red violet. Let's try that. I think because I'm going to be adding a little bit of red, there's no reason I can't throw a little bit of caution to the wind and add some red here. So let's go down the centre again. I might stop shy of the top. There you go. Just right. So it's a kind of a plummy colour. And then, so when I extend these, I'll just have to remember that I used that colour there. That's quite nice though, isn't it? Just that one I'm not sure about, that stripy one. Right, let's go again. So that one I did like coming out of the same place. This one I did it alternate ones. This one I'm going to do it coming out the same place again. Like that. Yeah. Bit more gap. That's it. So when you've done that, so what about if we try something a little bit more, looks a bit more Scandinavian. If we do it like that proper branch. That's quite good. I'm in my own little world here. Is anybody still with me, or am I on my own? There we go. I quite like that look, don't you? Yeah, I'm not going to fiddle with that because I can always add something else. I might come up with little baubles or something on that. Might look really nice actually to change it up a bit. And then that big one in the back, jury's out on these two. I had this one's quite good. I'll show you a trick. If you if you take, let's take like a cream color or from the Essentials, okay, and let's do like squiggles all the way down. Let's see if I can get. So I'm going to do squiggles all the way down, like spaghetti, all the way like this, right? You can't see what I'm doing, but it's there, okay? And the way that we're going to know that it's there is in a minute when we go over with a different color. I reckon that this will create a resist. That's the theory, okay? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? So I've done that. That's out of the Essentials one. That's out of this set. Okay, so now I need a greeny one. I need a green one. So what green should I use to go over the top? Just bear with me a second. That green's a bit dirty. Well, not dirty, but what about this one from the spring green? That's the colour, isn't it? Yep. See if this works. So if I let's go up this side here, and let's see if I use the flat of my, yeah, look, oh, I wish this camera would work. Let me see if I come in a bit. See if that, is that still fuzzy? It's still fuzzy, isn't it? Nuisance. There. But can you see what I've done, the pattern? I know what to do. Right, out she comes. It's all right. This will get sorted by this afternoon. Let's see if I show you on this camera. Now, let that one just... Can you see the pattern on that? Yeah. So you just use the flat, see? And you get a really cool pattern on the tree. So that's an interesting one. And then the darker you get, it's important to use the side of the pencil so you get the resist, yeah? There. Oh, the magic of the polychromo. There you go. And then I wonder if I take a darker grey. I don't know if I want to actually. It might be too savage. No, I'm going to stick to the light colour and just use the... See, if you press harder, it gets darker anyway. There, that looks good, doesn't it? And then I think I'm going to use my blending nib just to see if that smooths it out a bit. Yeah, nice. So that's a little trick that you can bear in mind. Nice. I like that one. And then that one, I'm going to say the jury's out on that one. Okay. Now, let's have a look. What have I got going on here? So, we want to start adding some bits and pieces. So I'm going to go with my red. I'm going to add some red and white. So baubles. Let's have a look. Oh, where's that scrap? Okay. Yeah, this is a good colour. So let's just add some red berries. It's just a little flash of colour, isn't it? Have you got all different designs for your trees as well? Yeah, nice. That'll do. Then I think on this one, I'll just add single dots like red, but not too much. Just little tiny dots on the branches, like that. That's good. And then I'll sprinkle it with white snow in a moment. That's a good one. And then this one's got stripes. So let's try the stripes here. Make sure it's not too thick. Okay. Stripes. Aros. So these are like ledges on the tree, aren't they? Yeah, get a bit tighter towards the top. God, I find this so relaxing. There. Excellent. And then this one as well could do with some red. Just add a splash because you've done your blending. Once you add the red, you need to have done the background. You can't do that first. Put one right on the top. Nice. Nice, nice. Don't overcook it just because you got a new pen, Barbara. Right. Snow time. Let's have a go. So the snow, just make sure that we've got some good white going. This always works. I honestly, this white fine Posca pens, I think we got them back in stock. We sell a lot of these. They're, you know, for years, I don't know about you, but I always was looking for a good opaque white to make snow and stars. And I never could find a decent pen. It would be like you'd put dots all over your inky sky with a white pen, and then you'd go back and it'd be gone. They'd be disappeared. Stars, snow, they would just be gone. So when these Posca pens came out, I was delighted because they do actually really work very, very well. We've got fat ones and thin ones actually. Now let's see if I can add a little bit of snow. So down that side and along, down that side and along, down that side and along. So it looks as if it's, yeah. Nice, eh? So this afternoon, I've got a couple of really nice demos lined up. I think you'll enjoy them. Right, so that's good. There you go. I don't want to make it too busy. That's the thing. And this one here with the stripes, to me, strikes me as a bit too busy. So I'm going to leave that one because there's no reason why I have to finish it now. I could leave it. I could do it just with a little bit of shading. Let's see if I don't put anything in it. And I wonder if I've got a better green than that. What have we got here? Cobalt green, which is, where have I found that one then? Cobalt green. It's got to be in there somewhere. Cobalt green in the summer. In the summertime when the weather is fine. That's it. Perfect colour. Perfect match. So let's see if I just... The pen takes it really well. Don't press too hard, because if you do, then you know it will create a seal, and then it's too dark, it won't. See, this is quite good, just plain. Hey, it doesn't always have to be loads of patterns, does it? Just a nice contrast. What do you think? I like that. And I might just go in with a bit of grey from the Essential set. I'm so happy that we've got these polychromos. I always used to want to reach for them. So Yeah, just go in with a bit of grey. A bit of shadow. How's that blending? Dry blending is always good. I mean, you could do wet, you could use the oil just the same as you do with the pergoliners, of course. That works as well. Yep. And then this is dry now. These are dry. So now let's add a little bit of white, just so that there's a little highlight, little flash of white to the berries. These are big berries, aren't they? There, that looks good though, love. And then comes the snow. Do you think we're going to have a white Christmas? I'm not sure. And now comes the snow on this one. See, you can make it bigger. That's why the fat one comes in really handy, the larger nib. Because you could dib and you get perfect rounds. When you do this, it's not quite so easy. There you get white on this. The white just highlights everything, doesn't it? White on this one. This one's a simple one. There. Doesn't that look good? And then, when you've done that, it's time to do the background as well. So we've got to add the trunks. So I think it looks best if the colour is underneath on the land. So let's lift this up and let's pop that up there now, so it's closer to the, I think we'll do that. And we'll add the land next, okay? So I'm using that old piece of, that's good. I've got that inch round the edge. Right, you up for this? Hey, should we just finish this? I'll put my other glasses on. Okay, colouring's over. There, so what we're going to do now, look, we're going to put this bit in underneath there. So, or this bit under here, whichever you prefer, what you're looking at. So it's just colours now we're looking at, isn't it? So from the colouring point of view, this, I went tealier on that one and bluer on that one. So it just depends what you fancy. So I'm going to take my blue brush, okay, and I'm just going to go, where's all this fluff? Was I wearing a fluffy jumper last time I did this? Let me just find, right, tumbled glass. Let's put down a light colour first, and then we can always add a bit more afterwards, can't we? Let's just add a bit of an echo of the, it's this edge that's more important, this edge here. Maybe that edge there. Just make sure you don't go over into your trees. Easy, easy. And then if I wanted to, I could take a spot-on sponge and maybe go a bit darker. See, that always helps, doesn't it? Let's try a bit depth. Right, and then, just because I can, what about, I'm just going to try it. If I don't like it, I can always, yeah, see that green? I'm trying this green. Evergreen bough, let's see. I'm not sure, maybe a bit of peacock. Oh no, that's a bit too strong. Don't use that one, Gray. Ah, or maybe I've wiped off loads of it. That'll do. Let's have a look. It doesn't matter as long as it's kind of there. Just needs somewhere to put your trees, don't you? It needs some land. Right, I reckon that'll do in that corner. Sweep, 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 sweep. Everyone's an original. Yes. And I think that that's too dark, so we'll forget that one. Cancel that peacock feathers. And then just add a little bit of blue up here. So you get the illusion of a border. Yeah? Doesn't have to be all the way around. Solid, I reckon. And then we could put the words up there maybe. That would look lovely. Yeah? And I might cut that back a bit yet. Don't know yet. Let's lift that off and see. Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So then if you take this off, you've got that lovely edge there. Yes. Right, now, here we go. This doesn't take long at all. Now we just got to tidy up the rest. So there's that one. Let's start from this end and work our way that way. So this is that one there. I'm going to just go to there. I'm going to just go that far. I'm not going any further than that. Maybe thicken it up a little bit. That's that one. Done. Right, then blue one. So I put a blue one there. Oh, I need my other glasses. And it's already 11 o'clock. What is happening, friends, eh? There, like that. Am I reading that they've already had snow in the northeast of England? Wow. Lucky you. Right, and then that colour. See, it's so cool. These, I like that colour, see. Let's go like that. And then we'll just bring that trunk in there. Trunk in. And then this one, that was the dark grey one, wasn't it? So I'm going to actually bring this one down into the, is my head in the way? I apologise if it is. Pop that there like that. There you go. So that comes down like that. That'll do. And then same on this one. But this one I'm going to take it only as far as there. Nice. And this little one, I think I'm going to bring it down the front as well. There, easy. And then that one there, let's have a look. Doesn't need to be, they don't all have to have a trunk, do they? Yeah, it gets too busy otherwise, doesn't it? What did I do on the last one? Let's have a look. Yeah, I didn't bother with it. I put one there, but not there. That's all right. The idea's done, isn't it? Right. So we'll just get those. That works. Nice, nice, nice. And then we could take, let me see, that colour would probably be the right colour, just to add a little bit of depth, just a little bit of a shadow. Have a look here. Just along that edge. Nice. And then we've done our lovely trees. Good, eh? And then you can always add a little bit of shade. I look forward to seeing your offerings. Let's see if we take this away now. Let's see what we've got. And then I'm going to add the words as well. See, I like that, where you just get a kind of a hint. Isn't that nice? Like that. And then I think see, me personally, I think Merry Christmas down there. Yeah. So I'm just going to dig around. Talk about it. Is that it? No, it's a different Merry Christmas. Stay there a minute. I know that yeah, there it is. I haven't unmounted it since I got it. This is going to be the one. You see, and that's the thing. All the time we're doing this, we're not thinking about anything else, are we? See, I think it's going to look amazing in there, just there. So we'll just test it over here. Make sure. Love. Right. And then I'm going to pop that into the land right there. I love that. There you go. You see what I said about it's not over till it's over? This looked a bit ropey, didn't it? It did. Come on, be honest. It did. It looked a little bit ropey. And I share your reservations on that one. But now it looks really lovely. So, and there's the little Mini Makes Monday one, which is just using a 4x4. I will say this though, if you want to do lots of these, treat yourself to this. It's game changer, just saying, absolute game changer. But I love that. I'm really happy with that. So what else is coming up this week? Well, 2 o'clock today, don't forget, sales show. I should be manning that one because I think Paul needs to go home. He's still not himself and he needs to rest up a bit. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, it'll be Lou in the lovely Louise in Groovy Tuesday. Now, don't forget, today's the last day of our Black Friday, Grey Friday sale. So today's the day you want to grab yourself any bargains because tomorrow all the prices go back up. And we really, really appreciate your support with this sale. So then Tuesday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, there'll be another session at 2 o'clock with, well, the jury's out on that one, we shall see. But I do know for certain that on Friday, I'll be back at 10 o'clock with you. And on Sunday at 3 to 5, it's the first Sunday of the month, and I'll be there to keep you company then too. So check out the blog, the daily blog. The countdown is on, friends. I think I'm going to dig out a couple of recipes and include a couple of cool recipes. Then we've got the Bip Hunt going. That started this morning, so that'll be good. And other than that, it's time to just enjoy the run up to Christmas. No stress, okay? No stress. It's a couple of days. There's no point in wrecking your month just because you're not on top of things for those 2 days. They come and they go. How old are we? That's right. How many Christmases have we handled? That's right. And this too shall pass, same as they all do. That's the one thing I do know, okay? So enjoy this, have fun, try a little one for Mini Makes Monday, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock. Paul, thanks for your help. Time for you to go home, my friend.